actively celebrates his own laziness. In multiple episodes, he even wins awards for doing nothing longer than anyone else in Bikini Bottom. I'm not gonna lie, that kind of sounds like the dream life. I can't even hate on it. But the next character, Mr. Krabs, represents greed. If you've watched even just a single episode of this show ever, you would know why. All this man cares about is chasing the bag, which, to be honest, I respect. But his whole life is consumed by the pursuit of money. He don't care about how his friends are doing, his family. His entire identity revolves around wealth, to the point where he literally dates a sack of money. You gotta remember, this is the same guy who quite literally sold SpongeBob's soul to the Flying Dutchman for 62 cents. Now, can you guess what sin Squidward is? Wrath. The more I go through all these characters, the more obvious it becomes that this show really was based off the 7 deadly sins. But Squidward represents wrath because he basically hates everything and everyone. He hates his neighbors, he hates his job, and he can't stand when other people are happy. The only thing he actually does seem to enjoy in his life is his clarinet, and even that doesn't like him back. We all know a Squidward in our life. Like, I'm sure when I said that, someone came to mind right away. So you know what I want you to do? Call the person in your life who reminds you most of Squidward right now. Will they be happy you called? No. But that's the point. Plankton represents the sin of envy. His entire existence is literally fueled by jealousy over how much more successful the Krusty Krab is than his restaurant. He despises Mr. Krabs, obsessing daily over how to destroy his restaurant rather than just focusing on how to make his own restaurant better. Next up, we got Gary, because Gary's only motivation in life is to eat. That is the only reason he wakes up in the morning. So the sin Gary represents is gluttony. The only time he speaks is when he's crying for a meal. And when his food bowl runs empty, Gary will literally eat through the living room furniture out of pure hunger. Gary, you would be very good friends with my cat because my cat is obese. Seriously, I'm not joking. It's actually getting concerning. But I don't know how to stop it because he'll scream at me if I don't feed him all the time. Like, if anyone has any tips on how to get my cat to stop doing this, please tell me. And for another main character of the show, Sandy, she represents the sin of pride. Sandy is the only character in the show who is a land mammal, not from the ocean. And she takes such pride of that in the show. She's basically like anyone you'll ever meet from Texas, to be honest. And no, I'm not roasting anyone that lives there, okay? I lived there myself. Was it for about 2 months? Yes, but I still live there. But of course, we can't talk about all the characters of the show without mentioning the star, SpongeBob. Which sin does he represent? Lust. Which, if you don't know what that means, it's basically to desire something really bad. What exactly is the big Bob lusting for? To be loved by everyone. There's not a single episode in the show where SpongeBob isn't trying to please others. And whenever any other character doesn't reciprocate the same love back to SpongeBob, you can see how upset it will make him. SpongeBob's low-key like me the more we talk about him. Matter of fact, all the characters in this show are low-key like me. Wait, does that mean I represent every single deadly sin myself? I need to get help. But anyways, here's the truth behind the show. The show is based off the 7 deadly sins. Now, what should you do with this information? I don't know. To be honest, I don't know what you're gonna do with any of the information I'm gonna tell you in this video. But who cares? Well, let's stop real quick because me and my friends were traveling in Europe recently. And fun at first, but then everything started going wrong because for some reason, so many places over there were rejecting my friend's credit cards. My card worked basically everywhere, so I ended up using it to pay for everything. And that's because I use Revolut. In case you guys didn't know, Revolut is a global money app, and it's ideal for trips like this because of how easy and convenient it was to exchange currencies, pay in different countries, and even withdraw cash anywhere. So I knew I needed it for Europe. And real quick, you guys could give Revolut a try with $40 to get started. All you have to do is sign up and spend for the first time. You can head to the link in description or scan the QR code here to check them out. When I got the app, I could instantly link my Revolut card to Apple Pay. And that was basically the moment I stopped stressing every time I bought something. I could just tap and go. Plus, it's unique because of how customizable it is. Like, you can literally create a custom card with text, emojis, you name it, directly from the app. So obviously, I made mine look completely dumb. And if you upgrade to their metal plan, you'll get this slick, literally real stainless steel card. Like, listen to this thing. What's actually useful is that the app helps you save money when you exchange different currencies directly in-app. With Revolut, I know I'm not wasting money on ridiculous international fees and bad exchange rates. Revolut automatically converts it all for me at the most competitive rate. But personally, I lose things so easily, and I also get super worried about my card information getting stolen. You can freeze the card instantly in the app if you lose it. And they have single-use virtual cards for online purchases, which basically self-destruct after one purchase. Which is good because I click on suspicious websites way more than I probably should. Don't forget, if you guys want to try Revolut, you can get $40 when you sign up to Revolut and spend for the first time. This offer is also available to new Revolut users in selected countries. Head to the link or scan the QR code to learn more. Moving on to the next one. And for this next one, I need you to actually do something right now. Pull up a photo of Chuck E. Cheese pizza on your phone, or just think back hard to the last time you saw one of those things in real life and look at the slices. Don't glance at them. Actually look. Look at where the slices meet each other. Look at the sauce pattern underneath each one. Look at whether those slices, when you push them together, form a normal circle the way a pizza made by one person at one time is supposed to form. Because once you take a real hard look, you may think to yourself,
these slices don't match. Not even close.
The sauce under slice 1 might not connect to the sauce under slice 2. The cheese thickness is completely different across sections in ways that make no sense. These slices look like they didn't start their lives together. They came from entirely different pizza families that were assembled into one new pizza and then handed directly to you. They're basically adopted pieces. So the theory is that Chuck E. Cheese collects uneaten slices of pizza from tables after customers leave. They reassemble them into a new pizza and serve that pizza to the next group of customers who comes in. Now, Chuck E. Cheese has responded officially to this conspiracy and said that was completely false. They don't do that. The whole pizza is just one pizza cooked at the same time. But here's my issue with that. They just said it. No footage, no evidence, no proof of any kind. And now look, I'm saying this is all alleged, okay? Because I don't want no beef with Chucky, all right? You guys saw last video that I ain't messing with him no more. And even if you don't fully believe this theory, which once again, I'm not saying I do, okay? I don't want to get in any trouble. Like, I've got enough things to deal with right now.
Actually, no, I don't. I low-key have nothing going on in my life right now.
But anyways, something is visually clearly wrong with how the slices on these pizzas are assembled. That part doesn't really seem like a theory. You can see it with your own 2 eyes right now if you just pull up a photo of their pizza. But what makes this conspiracy so easy to believe is that they could have easily gotten away with doing this. Like, no one actually went to Chuck E. Cheese for the quality of the pizza. You won't ever catch someone being like,
what should we get for dinner today?
how about we DoorDash some Chuck E. Cheese pizza?
You need to find help.
When we all used to go to Chuck E. Cheese, we were 8 years old, and all we cared about was getting as many tickets as possible in the arcade games. I would have eaten that pizza even if you told me it was recycled. And I still would have given it 5 stars without hesitating. Nothing on earth could have ruined that meal for me. Not hygiene concerns, not other people's germs. Like, Chuck E. Cheese should have just came out after these conspiracies started and been like,
we do reuse old slices of pizza. And what about it, huh? What about it?
I would have respected Mr. Cheese a lot more if he just did that. Once again, I'm not saying it's true though. Now, we're going back to SpongeBob because for some reason, the creators of this show wanted to put 1,000 different secrets in it that would just crush us to learn when we got older. But this secret is way more crazy than the other ones we've talked about. Are you ready for it? You all better have said yes out loud, okay? Your family members may think you're schizophrenic if you do that, but it's all right. They just don't get it. So between 1946 and 1958, the United States government used a place called Bikini Atoll as a nuclear weapons testing site. They detonated 23 nuclear bombs there. Some of the largest nuclear detonations in human history happened at this exact location. One test was so powerful, it vaporized entire islands. Not damaged, not flooded, just deleted them, like they don't exist anymore. But the water surrounding those islands and every living thing in it was exposed to enormous amounts of radiation for over a decade. And one of the common effects of radiation is mutation. It changes your DNA. And now that I've told you this, think about what the show SpongeBob SquarePants is actually about. Talking sea creatures who walk upright, own businesses, run restaurants, go to school, drive boats, play musical instruments, and live in houses with furnitures and mailboxes and front doors. Set in a place called Bikini Bottom, named directly after the island the United States government used to detonate nuclear weapons. SpongeBob can talk because of radiation. Patrick can hold a conversation because of radiation. Well, I mean, Patrick can barely hold a conversation, but he can. The creator of SpongeBob has been asked about this theory in interviews, and every single time this question is asked, he just smiles and changes the subject. It does not take a mind reader to understand why he answers this way. Now, here's a funny secret that you, me, and literally everyone watching this went through. So we all know about the tooth fairy, right? You lose a tooth, you put it under your pillow, you go to sleep, and while you're unconscious, some small, unknown creature reaches its hand under the pillow that your head is currently sleeping on, removes your tooth, and replaces it with money. Sounds like breaking and entering if you ask me, but that's not the point. Because what I actually want to talk about is what was really going on with the tooth fairy. Because researchers looked into what children were getting paid by the tooth fairy across different areas. And what